Perkins.
Thank you.
The question was,
I was going to repeat the question.
yeah,
The question
was about, since the current administration has already started the process of appraisal and acquisition of properties in this Roselle neighborhood, if you were elected, what would your plan be for the future of those properties?
Right.
That was more specific, but it looks like we're moving on to the whole canal question.
I was going to speak specifically to the question. Thank you.
All right.
The first thing I would do if I were elected mayor is to realize that the issue that we have to deal with is we have to deal with it. There's no turning away and saying poo. Oh, that's probably not a good word to use. Turn away and say, woo! Yeah. I'll lighten things up a little bit for you guys. But anyway, it's a problem we're going to have to deal with. As mayor, I've not been able to sit at the table where Tommy Galligan has sat and some of the others have sat and look at all of the solutions. I think the canal is a viable solution. I'm excited about the opportunities with the canal. My concern with the canal is that something that Mr. Ways alluded to is the true cost of the canal. And I went to the all-day meeting that was put on by the city, and it was very informative, and I learned a lot, and I appreciate that opportunity. The cost is going to have to really be looked at, and other solutions. We're not the only city dealing with this problem. There are other cities that are kind of ahead of us, not because we're slow in reacting, but this report he's talking about gives us to, I think, 2020 to actually come up with a solution. And the piece that I'm concerned most about right now is the changes that's going on and trying to get a handle on those changes. I know there was a meeting this week and there were some new plans rolled out. I'm sorry I wasn't there, but there were some new plans rolled out, and maybe some more properties are going to have to be destroyed or taken, and that concerns me, so I just need to get a better handle on it.
Thank you. Mr. Galligan?
Will you repeat the question?
The question was, since the current administration has already started the process of appraisal and acquisition of properties in this neighborhood, if you're not reelected, what would be your plan? Well, if you are reelected, what would be your plan for the future of those properties?
Well, if I'm not reelected, somebody else will have the plan. There's a lot of meetings taking place, and there's a lot of public forums that we're holding. Teresa went to one over Ken Ellis building. We try to be out front and up front with all these things. We've tried to go out into the neighborhoods and have meetings, and we've talked about the problems. The problem is at 8th and Ohio, it flooded every time somebody turned the garden hose loose. We needed to stop that. We needed to deal with the CSO problem. It's a major problem, and we need to deal with it. Instead of just saying, well, we can do this and we can do that, we need to actually deal with the problem. We have water coming down to 10th and Spring from Claysburg, from Main Street on 10th Street, from Market Street on Spring Street. Everywhere it goes to 10th and Spring. That's a 96-inch pipe that takes 130 million gallons in a 24-hour period, and we're producing 1,000 units at 1 million gallons a unit. We've got to get rid of the water because we can't have it going in Walgreens, we can't have cars being flooded, and we can't have homes being flooded. Now, we're trying to attack the problem where we get paid by the developers because they're going to come in, invest money, create tax dollars, pay us back for putting in the canal. Have a place where people in Jeffersonville can be proud of, go down and recreate on it. It's going to be one big park in downtown Jeffersonville. It's going to help take care of the water. And the reason the number changes is because the Corps of Engineers changed their mathematical calculations on what was required after the Katrina. And we just got that in the last 6 months. And that is, we have to plan for a rainfall of 6 inches in 1 hour.
Mr. Vissing?
I think I know the answer. I already know the question, so I don't have to repeat that. I don't think really anybody answered your question. The question was, what are you going to do with the properties
Right.
if you are not successful at the canal? And that is a tough question. I would think that you'd either have to ask people if they'd be willing to have them back, or you would you have to do something else. I don't even want to think about that. I support the canal. I think it's going to be a great thing for the city of Jeffersonville. I agree with everybody here that these numbers have fluctuated immensely. It scares the hell out of me about that. The one thing that wasn't mentioned is the acquisition of those properties is going to be bought with TIF dollars, tax increment financing. They've got quite a bit of money in the bank for that, so that will be, the sewer bills will not be paying for the acquisition of those properties. So they're looking in pretty good shape on that. As far as, I was working for the gas company. I was downtown after that flood, and it was horrible. I was down here in Waiters, shutting off gas meters to houses were devastated, the people were devastated, and I know what it was like, and the people of downtown deserve better than what you got. And I will do my best to, I think the most important thing is we've got to get the water out downtown after you have a large rain, and the only way I see you can do that is with a huge pipe or with a canal. The canal has advantages with being able to bring back, it's going to bring you back tax dollars, because there's going to be, by the way I envision, it's going to be some nice shops with maybe some apartments overhead, and it's going to somewhat pay us back. I think it's going to be gorgeous. I think when we get the Big 4 bridge completed and our greenways completed, I think we're going to have so much foot traffic coming from Louisville. It's going to be great. So again, I just hope that we don't have to have a situation where we have to return those properties. It would be a bad situation.
All right, I'm sure we'll return to the canal question since it's right, the plan is for it to go right through the backyard here. But before we do leave that, and I'm sure we'll return to it, let me just see a show of hands among you five who supports the canal as it's currently designed.
I don't think we can answer that question.
2 yes, 3 abstaining. Could we say that?
We need more
I'm
information.
no.
You're a no. Okay. 2 abstentions, 1 no, and 2 in favor. Let me move on to the next question that's been submitted from the folks in the room. And I guess we'll start again, Mr. Moore, if you don't mind, with you, and just move down the table. It seems to work. Would you support casino gambling along our riverfront and greenway?
Well, I'll be honest with you. When this was up for a vote last time, I voted against it. But it was an overwhelming vote for City of Jeff that supported it. I'm going to be here as the mayor that acts on the wishes of the city. If the city overwhelmingly wants a casino, I'm not going to turn away from it. I'm not going to give away everything in order to land one either. But there's a lot of hypotheticals in there. There would be a lot of negotiations. I know you want a yes or no answer, but there's so much information with the canal, with the casino vote, that we don't have. I mean, how can you give a definite answer on something without having all of the information? There would be a lot more that we would have to learn about a casino, parking, jobs. How is it going to affect the historic property around Jeffersonville? I don't want to devastate the city of Jeff to bring in a flashy boat, without knowing more about it. So I don't think it's a simple yes or no question.
Mr. Ways?
I would say yes, but I wouldn't want it down there on our greenway. I would want it further on down, closer to actually Clarksville or in front of, say, Carmen Industries. And it would have to be a way where the traffic just doesn't all flow in and flow right out of our downtown. It needs to be managed properly, where people go to the boat if they want to go to the boat. We have a beautiful walkway where people can come on down, go to our shops, and we got to make sure it's a destination point for them. So with the revenue that the city could benefit from it, I think it would be a win-win, but we need to also make sure it doesn't hurt our historic downtown. So we want people to come to our downtown, but we sure don't want just traffic, a big traffic jam where people just don't stop and visit our shops.
Ms. Perkins?